Good morning. Today's video is all about hiking to the Boyana Waterfalls in the Vitosha mountain range, a mountain range that I can see from the balcony of my hotel in Central Sofia. There it is. That's where I'm heading. It's about an hour further forward now, and I'm in the neighbourhood of Sofia called Boyana. Boyana Church is just ahead of me. I caught a subway, or a metro as they call it round here, from Serdica in the centre of the city to Vitosha metro station, and you'd think that's pretty close to Vitosha Mountains, but it's still not close enough to walk from there. So I then jumped on bus 64 about half an hour to the Boyana neighbourhood. Bus 64 is referred to, I've seen in some articles, as the Boyana Express. So I'm now heading towards the mountains, and I'm going to make an impromptu stop at the church on the way. So I'm inside the grounds of Boyana Church. This is a church built in the 10th century and is famous for its murals painted inside. So this was built in the 10th century and then enlarged in the 13th and 19th centuries. I've just been inside. I've got to say it's a pretty remarkable place. You're not allowed to photo or video. Okay, I'm glad I stopped by, and I'm heading now back on my trek towards Boyana Waterfall. There's the official entrance up this way. So I've just walked up here and the path splits in two. So if you keep going up that way, I think you're going to get to Boyana Lake and then the waterfall. That's a gentler climb, and I think if you go this way, it's the steeper, quicker route directly to Boyana Waterfall. This is the way I'm going to head for my sins. On the right of the pathway is a military area, so I'll steer clear of that and just follow this pathway as it heads towards the waterfall, which is about 2 hours up, I believe. It's going to take about 2 hours to get there, and after that it's going to take about an hour to get to some of the hiking huts and up towards the Golden Bridges area. The country of Bulgaria indeed does have bears and wolves, even poisonous snakes. None of those I'm used to, being from the UK, but I have done a bit of research, quite a bit of research actually, and it turns out that certainly bears and wolves aren't in this area. They're more over towards the Rila mountain range. So I'm just about to cross a little stream. The hiking path that I'm following, the steeper one, basically follows the river all the way up. So being near the river tells me I'm heading in the right direction. So from the forests that were at the foot of the mountains, things are starting to turn rockier and steeper, and over there, the other side of the river, I just spotted my first sight of snow. Still on the mountain. It's late March, and over there, see if I can show you, there is a little bit of snow, and I think I'm going to see more of that as I climb higher. tip if you are hiking through an area with bears active is to always announce your presence, because bears tend to try and stay away from human beings. So if you are hiking on your own like I am today, if you're hiking in silence, then a bear might not hear you coming, you might stumble upon it, which is not good. So the best way to try and keep bears out of your way is to make some kind of noise, or even talk like I'm doing now. Bears will hear that, and if they are in the area, they'll move out of the way most of the time. But as I said, this isn't an active bear area, but I guess you can never rule it out completely. I'm about an hour into the hike now, although I have stopped quite a few times to take photos and video. I'm in an area now, still following the river, but the pathway does seem to be pretty hard to identify and follow. I think that's it going up there. You kind of get to an area like this and you're thinking, where do I go now? And then when you get to the top, probably it becomes clearer. It's because all the snow has melted over the winter season, and it's kind of washed away some of the mud onto the pathway, I guess. Right, see if we can go up there. There we go, I'm at the top of another little section. Now, I'm not an advanced hiker by any stretch of the imagination, but I will give you a quick tip when you're walking in areas like this, and that's never think about where your foot currently is, think about where it's going next. Think about maybe 2-3 footsteps ahead. Come to a turning point now in the pathway, still following that river. Now I'm heading in this direction here. Pathway has come right close to the river now. I don't think this is Boyana Waterfall, but it's certainly a waterfall. Mesmerising. So just following the pathway again, give you an idea of some of the more tricky parts. This is definitely one of them. I've got to walk across these rocks now and over to that pathway there. Straight in the mud. So looking on the map, it looks like the footpath ends, but
refuse to believe that it just ends about an hour and 20 minutes into a hike. Pretty close to Boyana Waterfall, so I'm thinking if I just head up here, it looks like a pathway, but there is a lot of snow on the ground here and it is making it particularly slippery now. So you just got to have your wits about you as you climb up away from the river. Yeah, I reckon if I go up there, I should run into the other pathway. Or actually, in that direction looks a little bit better. Let's try this one. Yeah, this is a little bit more manageable. Just being ultra careful now. One little slip can cause you all kinds of grief. Ah yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a pathway. It's pretty well defined anyway. There you go.
I've now been going 2 hours. I left Boyana at 10 o'clock, it's now midday. Haven't seen anybody else. I am actually really surprised by how quiet it is, because such an incredible area right on the edge of such a big city. I thought there'd be loads of people up here hiking, but haven't seen anybody. There is an incredible view of the city behind me through the trees, and I can now, I think I can see the actual waterfall just through the trees up there. So I'm gonna head up there and see if I can see the actual waterfalls up close and personal. First though, I've got to navigate a bit more rugged terrain up in that direction. I am exhausted. 2¼ hours. I've stopped a lot to take photos and videos, to be fair. Probably could have done it in an hour and a half, but I am very pleased to finally be at the Boyana Waterfall. There's the waterfalls. I'm just about to leave now and head up the trek a bit further, maybe see if I can catch the top of the waterfall. And then down there you can see Sofia. It's looking incredible in the sunlight. So the waterfalls that are behind me are approximately 20 metres high. That's about 60 feet. This time of year they're flowing quite incredibly because of the snow at the top of the Vitosha Mountains that is melting and creating this huge river which is flowing and cutting down towards the city. Okay, let's press on. Time check, It's 3 o'clock. I've been on the go for 5 hours. Admittedly, I have stopped quite a bit to take photos and videos, but I was hoping to be at the Golden Bridges by now. I'm still probably, I don't know, an hour away, maybe. So, the other thing is, I kind of lost the pathway. I'm not sure exactly where I'm supposed to be going. I think it's in this direction, but as you can see, the trail isn't defined anymore. So I'm kind of just hiking in the snow now. Very slippery. But I'm going to keep going, and as I said, see if I can get to the hiking hut at least, and then maybe evaluate the situation when I get there. I've just come up from that direction, and there's a much larger trail here, which is all good. Trail coming from that direction going that way, that's the way I am heading, still going up. But just interestingly enough, there is some signs here now. Left Boyana district, Boyana Waterfall, that's where I've just come from. This is Kirkish Shelter, Command Del Hut. I don't know if that's the same thing but in a different language, but that's that direction. And then the direction I'm heading in is towards Boyana Scalar Hut. That's the one that I saw on Google Maps earlier, so not too far away now. But I won't be going much further, sadly. Time is getting on. Oh, a bit more foresty now, look. I can still hear the river, by the way. So this whole trail has come up by the river. So if you do get lost and you can't hear the river, then you're probably not where you should be. Although in saying that, during the summer and autumn, you're probably not going to hear the river because there's not going to be as much water rolling down it. All that water is rolling down because of the melting snow on top of the mountain. I've arrived at a place called Boyana Scalar, which is a little hiking lodge and area in the mountains. I'm well, the time is what, 4 o'clock now, so I've got 2.5 hours of sunlight left. So I was planning to go to the Golden Bridges, but that's another half an hour away, and there's no way I'm going to be able to make it there and get back down to Boyana before it gets dark. So I'm having a bite to eat, a bit of drink, exhausted, and then I'm going to hike back down and hopefully take the other route. So I've taken the more difficult route up. I'm going to take the slightly longer but gentler hike down, and I believe that passes Boyana Lake, so that's what I'm going to keep my eye out for on the way down. It's probably going to take about 2.5 hours to get down there, so I better get a move on. There is Boyana Scalar, little huts here in the mountains, and I am heading this way to Boyana, or Boyana Lake anyway. So down there is the way I came up. So I came up there somewhere and then came around here and then up there. So I think this is the way that I want to go now, and then I want to turn left. Yeah, there we go, look, some signs saying Boyana district, and so that's the way I'm going to go. This is not the way I came up, so that's good, because there's nothing worse than retracing your footsteps for a couple of hours. I'm not sure if you can see it properly, but through the trees is Sofia. I'd love to get a viewpoint through the trees somewhere. Going down in this direction now. This has been a bit like a ghost hike. I have hardly seen anybody at all. Just miles and miles of Beautiful countryside, mountain landscape, picturesque scenery, and there's just nobody here. I really thought it was going to be busier than this. I mean, look around me. Incredible, everywhere you look. And then down here, that's where I'm heading, and the city is straight up ahead of me. I tell you what, going down, it definitely presents its own challenges. It's a lot more slippery. I always find I lose traction when going down. It's easier heading up, but it's certainly quicker going down.
Just took a little bit of a tumble there, nothing major, sore hand, but all good. Just incredibly slippery coming down. It's exactly what I was saying a minute ago, is it's definitely less exhausting than coming up, but I always find it a lot harder when you have to come down, because it's just so hard to get any grip in the snow and ice.
Well, I've got to say, even though this is a lot easier than the trek I took this morning, it's by no means an easy pathway, especially with the snow on it. Still quite a few obstacles that you have to navigate. Look at that over there. This is what I came for. Just found this rock right on the edge of the well, on the edge of the cliff actually. Look down there. You've got to be careful. Got to be really careful around here, because that is a big drop. So I'm going to stay away from that. And that's where I've come from. Over there in the mountains. I've just walked around there on some kind of trail. I can't see it, but it's in there somewhere. And then you come out here. Still quite a distance though. First sign I've seen for Boyana Lake. So it would be rude not to. Gonna head on down into the woods and have a quick look. Oh god, another fork, look. Now which way? Goodness, I don't know. I'm gonna go this way. The sign kind of pointed in this direction, so I'll just go this way and see what happens. I made it. Boyana Lake, a little enchanted lake in the middle of the forest. It's very quiet. Again, I haven't seen anybody for a couple of hours. So I am, what's the time now? 5:30, believe it or not. So an hour of daylight left and about an hour to walk back to Boyana. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just take a few photos around here and then head in that direction down to the neighbourhood of Boyana, catch bus 64 back to the metro, and then jump on the metro back into the centre of Sofia. I'll tell you what, I'll sleep well tonight. They really should call this lake Frog Lake. I've never seen so many frogs anywhere. There are hundreds. There are hundreds all over the place. They're all in the water though, which is good for me. So just next to the lake, there is some buildings here, completely abandoned. I'm not sure what they used to be or what the purpose of them was. Maybe I'll try and find that out. But I'm going to head down here now. There we go. This is better. It's now just gone 6 o'clock, so I think I'm going to make it back down. Probably got about another 20 minutes left to hike, 30 minutes of sunlight left. Today's been really good. I've been looking forward to this for a while. I enjoy hiking. I enjoy scenery and mountains and lakes and waterfalls, so it's kind of had everything that I would have wanted it to. I can't think of anything that I would have changed. I do know that if I hadn't have stopped so often to take photos and video, I would have easily made it to Golden Bridges and had a look up there, but it's not to be. I was originally going to go to the Reela mountain range, but there's just too much snow up there this time of year. So when I found out there was this huge mountain range right next to the capital, it was like I was in luck. So without any further ado, as I said before, I'm going to get back down, try and catch a bus. I don't know what times they run. I'll check my phone when I get down there and then get back to the city. I'm pretty hungry. Back to civilization and the entrance where I stood, what, 8 hours ago.